There comes a time in life when you must learn the power of silence, not because you are weak, not because you lack a response, but because silence is the greatest answer to ignorance. Disrespect is the language of the insecure. When people dishonor you, they are not defining your worth, they are revealing their own character. You don't have to respond to every insult. You don't have to explain yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you. A lion does not turn when a dog barks. Great leaders, great thinkers, and great visionaries understand one thing. Reaction is a sign of immaturity, but silence is a mark of wisdom. When Jesus was accused, he remained silent before his accusers. Why? Because truth does not fight for recognition, it stands on its own. The moment you engage with disrespect, you bring yourself down to the level of the one who insulted you. Silence is not weakness, it is strategy. It is the ability to let your character speak louder than your words. Never waste energy on people who do not value you. Stay quiet, stay focused, and let time reveal the truth. The wise choose silence, the foolish demand attention. Which one will you be? There is a wisdom that few understand, the power of silence. In a world where everyone is eager to respond, to defend, to justify, the greatest strength is often found in saying nothing. Silence is not a sign of weakness. It is the greatest response to ignorance. When people speak against you, when they belittle you, when they attempt to tarnish your name, you must remember one thing. Their words do not define you. They define them. A person's reaction to disrespect determines their level of maturity. It is easy to respond in anger, to fight back, to prove a point. But the moment you do, you allow their words to control your emotion. And when someone else controls your emotions, they control you. Silence, however, keeps your power intact. It keeps you in control. It allows you to walk away with your dignity, rather than wrestle in the mud with those who have nothing to lose. When you respond to ignorance, you validate it. You give life to words that were meant to destroy you. But when you remain silent, you strip them of their power. Imagine a fire. If you keep feeding it, it grows. But if you refuse to give it oxygen, it suffocates. This is how silence works. It starves the ignorance of others, leaving them to wrestle with their own words while you move forward in purpose. The greatest people in history understood this principle. When Jesus was falsely accused, he did not argue. He did not waste his breath proving himself to people who had already made up their minds. Why? Because truth does not need defense. Truth stands firm even in silence. And time always reveals it. The moment you begin explaining yourself to those who are committed to misunderstanding you, you have already lost the battle. You are not here to convince, you are here to fulfill purpose. There will always be people who misunderstand you. There will always be those who speak against you, who mock you, who attempt to bring you down. But their words do not determine your destiny. A lion does not respond to the opinions of sheep. When you understand who you are, when you know your value, you stop seeking approval from people who were never meant to validate you. It takes strength to remain silent when you are disrespected. It takes wisdom to hold your tongue when you know you could destroy your opponent with a single word. But true power is not found in reaction. It is found in restraint. The one who is in control of their spirit is greater than the one who takes a city. Silence is not surrender. It is not cowardice. It is strategic. It is the ability to rise above petty battles and focus on the war ahead. People may not remember what was said about you, but they will remember how you carried yourself through it. There is a time to speak, but there is also a time to remain silent. And when faced with disrespect, silence is often the loudest statement you can make. It shows confidence, it shows wisdom, It shows that you are too focused on where you are going to be distracted by the noise along the way. So, the next time someone disrespects you, remember this. You do not need to respond. You do not need to explain. You do not need to prove anything. Stay quiet, stay focused, and let your life do the talking. Disrespect is never about you. It is always about the one who delivers it. When someone belittles you, insults you, or speaks against you, they are not revealing your flaws. They are exposing their own insecurities. People who are whole, people who are secure, do not need to tear others down. Only those who struggle within themselves feel the need to bring others lower to feel higher. Many times we take offense to words that were never a reflection of us in the first place. When someone calls you worthless, it does not mean you lack worth. When someone disrespects your vision, it does not mean your vision is invalid. Their words are not a mirror. They are a projection of what is inside them. Never allow someone's brokenness to determine your value. A $100 bill does not lose its worth because someone crumples it, steps on it, or throws it aside. It remains valuable no matter how it is treated. The same is true for you. Your value is determined by the one who created you, not by the opinions of those who fail to recognize your worth. When people dishonor you, when they dismiss you, when they belittle your dreams, do not internalize their words. What they say about you does not change what is true about you. The problem is that many people live for approval. They seek validation from others, believing that respect from the outside world determines their identity. But if your worth is dependent on the acceptance of others, then your life will always be controlled by their opinions. True confidence is knowing that even if no one recognizes your greatness, you are still great. Even if no one claps for you, your purpose remains unchanged. History is filled with people who were ridiculed before they were honored. Joseph was disrespected by his own brothers before he ruled a nation. David was mocked before he became king. Even Jesus was rejected by the very people he came to save. Disrespect does not determine your destiny. It only tests your ability to endure on the way to it. You must come to a place where disrespect no longer shakes you. When people talk behind your back, keep walking forward. When they insult your name, let your character speak louder than their words. Your response to disrespect determines whether you are controlled by their opinion or grounded in your own identity. The moment you react in anger, you have given them power over you. But when you remain calm, when you refuse to be moved, you show that their words have no authority in your life. The most dangerous person in the world is the one who cannot be offended. Because when you cannot be offended, you cannot be manipulated. When you refuse to be provoked, you rise above the games people play. Those who seek to pull you down will realize they have no control over you, and that is when you truly become free. Silence is not a sign of weakness when faced with disrespect. It is a mark of maturity. It takes no strength to argue. It takes no wisdom to fight back. But to remain composed, to walk away with your dignity, to continue focusing on your vision despite the noise, that is true power. Because in the end, the one who dishonors you will eventually be confronted by the reality of your success. So the next time someone disrespects you, do not let their words take root in your heart. Do not allow their opinion to shake your foundation. Their words reveal who they are, not who you are. Stay quiet, stay focused, and let your life prove them wrong. In life, there will always be moments when people will test you. They will say things to provoke you, to challenge you, to make you feel small. But the way you respond in those moments will determine who truly has control, you or them. Reaction is a sign of immaturity, but silence is wisdom. The ability to remain calm in the face of provocation is not a sign of weakness. It is a demonstration of true strength. A child reacts to everything. If you take a toy from a child, they cry. If you say something they don't like, they scream. They have no control over their emotions because they have not yet matured. But an adult, a leader, a person of wisdom understands that not everything deserves a response. Not every insult requires an answer. Not every battle is worth fighting. Those who react to everything that offends them will find themselves constantly distracted, constantly drained, constantly pulled into unnecessary conflicts. Disrespect will come. It is not a question of if, it is a question of when. And when it does, how will you respond? Will you allow anger to dictate your actions? Will you let emotions drive your decisions? The moment you react in frustration, you have already lost control. Because now, instead of moving forward with purpose, you are wasting time trying to prove yourself to people who were never meant to validate you in the first place. The enemy of wisdom is reaction. It is the impulsive word spoken in anger, the unnecessary argument, the emotional outburst that could have been avoided. But wisdom teaches restraint. Wisdom knows that silence speaks louder than words, that not every situation requires your energy, that sometimes the best response is no response at all. The wisest people in history were not those who talked the most, but those who knew when to be quiet. Jesus himself demonstrated this. When he was falsely accused, when he was insulted and mocked, he did not defend himself. He remained silent because he knew that truth does not need to argue. The moment you understand this, you free yourself from the need to always have the last word. You stop trying to prove your worth to those who will never see it. You rise above the noise and focus on what truly matters. It takes discipline to remain quiet when everything in you wants to respond. It takes strength to walk away when your pride wants to fight back. But in the end, the one who stays silent keeps their peace, while the one who reacts loses it. Reaction is a trap. It is a tool used by those who want to pull you down, distract you, and keep you from reaching your full potential. But silence, that is the weapon of the wise. There is power in knowing that not everything needs your attention. There is wisdom in understanding that your energy is too valuable to waste on people who do not deserve it. The more you react, the more control you give away. The more you stay silent, the stronger you become. When you know who you are, you do not need to respond to every insult. When you understand your worth, you do not need to explain yourself to those who refuse to see it. The only thing you need to do is stay focused, stay disciplined, and let your actions speak for themselves. Because in the end, success is the loudest response to disrespect. So the next time someone tries to provoke you, take a deep breath. Do not let their words control you. Do not let their ignorance pull you off course. Stay quiet, stay composed, and let wisdom guide your steps. Because the one who masters silence has already won the battle. Truth does not fight for recognition. It does not argue. It does not beg to be accepted. And it does not need validation from those who refuse to see it. Truth stands on its own. It remains unshaken, unmoved, unchanged, no matter how many people deny it. When you understand this, you free yourself from the exhausting need to prove yourself to others. You free yourself from the burden of trying to explain your work to those who have already made up their minds about you. One of the greatest mistakes people make is believing that if they just explain themselves enough, if they argue enough, if they try hard enough, others will finally see the truth. But the reality is this: people only see what they are willing to see. No amount of explanation can open the eyes of someone who is committed to misunderstanding you. No amount of arguing will convince someone whose mind is already closed. And when you find yourself constantly trying to prove yourself, constantly trying to justify your actions, you must ask yourself, am I walking in truth or am I seeking approval? Jesus understood this principle. When he was falsely accused, when people spoke against him, he did not waste time arguing. He remained silent because he knew that truth does not need a defense. He knew that the opinion of the crowd did not change his purpose. And because of that, he did not allow their words to distract him from his mission. If you are constantly explaining yourself, constantly fighting to be understood, you have already lost focus. Your energy is being spent on the wrong battle. There will always be those who doubt you. There will always be those who question your vision, who ridicule your dreams, who speak against your character. But their words have no power unless you give them power. The truth about who you are does not change just because someone refuses to acknowledge it. The truth about your purpose is not diminished just because someone does not believe in it. Your actions will always be louder than your explanations. You do not have to argue when your life speaks for itself. You do not have to prove anything when time will reveal what is real. Those who doubted you will one day see the results of your discipline. Those who spoke against you will be confronted with the reality of your success. Those who dismissed you will realize that their words had no effect on your destiny. This is why silence is so powerful. Because when you stop explaining and start building, when you stop arguing and start moving, you shift your energy from proving yourself to becoming everything you were meant to be. And when you become what you were meant to be, the truth will be undeniable. A seed does not need to convince anyone that it will become a tree. It does not argue with those who say it will never grow. It simply remains planted, takes root, and in time it rises. The same is true for you. Your focus is not to fight for recognition. Your focus is to stay planted, to keep growing, to keep working, and let time do the talking. When you understand that truth stands on its own, no longer be offended when people misunderstand you. You will no longer waste energy trying to explain yourself to those who do not want to listen. You will no longer be shaken by the opinions of people who have no say in your destiny. You will walk with confidence, knowing that in the end, the truth always wins. So when they doubt you, keep working. When they question you, stay focused. When they speak against you, remain silent. Because truth does not fight for recognition. Time will reveal everything. When someone disrespects you, your first instinct may be to respond, to defend yourself, to set the record straight. But the moment you engage with disrespect, you lower yourself to the level of the one who insulted you. You step out of your position of power and step into a battle that was never worth fighting. Engaging with disrespect does not make you stronger, it makes you distracted. People who are truly confident do not waste their time arguing with those who try to bring them down. They understand that their value does not decrease just because someone fails to recognize it. The person who disrespects you is not in control of your worth, your future, or your destiny. So why give them the satisfaction of your reaction? Why lower yourself to meet them at their level? The moment you respond in anger, the moment you start defending yourself to those who do not matter, you have already given them power. The wise understand that some battles are not worth fighting. They know that responding to every insult is a waste of time and energy. They choose silence, not because they have nothing to say, but because they know that some people do not deserve a response. Not every battle is yours to fight. Not every attack requires your attention. The more you engage with those who disrespect you, the more you feed their negativity. But when you stay quiet, when you refuse to give them the reaction they are looking for, they lose control over you. Look at the greatest leaders in history. They did not waste time responding to their critics. They did not stop their mission to explain themselves to those who refused to understand. They stayed focused, they stayed disciplined, and they let their actions speak louder than words. Jesus, when insulted, did not argue. He did not chase after those who mocked him. He knew that his purpose was far greater than the words of his enemies. And because he remained focused, the very people who once mocked him later had no choice but to acknowledge the truth. The moment you engage with disrespect, you risk losing your focus. You step away from what truly matters and into a conversation that has no benefit to your destiny. And the truth is, some people insult you because they want your attention. Some people disrespect you because they want to pull you into their world of negativity. Do not give them that satisfaction. A lion does not respond to the barking of a dog. A king does not argue with a fool. A person who understands their worth does not waste time trying to prove it. The greatest response to disrespect is to keep moving, to keep growing, to keep building. When you succeed, when you rise, when you become everything they said you could never be, your success will silence them far more than your words ever could. If you engage with disrespect, you get trapped in the cycle of negativity. But when you stay quiet, when you refuse to react, you maintain your peace, your power, and your focus. You show that you are above the noise, that you are not moved by the opinions of those who do not matter. And in the end, those who disrespected you will have no choice but to watch you succeed. So, the next time someone tries to pull you into an argument, the next time they try to provoke you with their words, remember this: you do not have to respond. You do not have to defend yourself. You do not have to prove your worth. Stay quiet, stay focused, and let your success be your answer. Time and character will always speak louder than words. No matter what is said about you, no matter how you are treated, no matter how others try to misrepresent you, the truth about who you are will always be revealed in the end. This is why you do not have to fight every battle. You do not have to defend yourself against every insult. You do not have to prove yourself to those who refuse to see your value. If you remain patient, if you remain focused, if you continue to walk in integrity, time will reveal everything. Many people waste their energy trying to correct false perceptions. They argue, they explain, they fight back against those who speak against them. But the truth is, no amount of explanation will change the mind of someone who is committed to misunderstanding you. And the more you try to prove yourself, the more you give power to their words. The wise do not fight for recognition. They simply continue on their path, knowing that time and character will settle every matter. Character is stronger than reputation. Reputation is what people say about you. Character is who you truly are. Reputation can be manipulated by gossip, by rumors, by false accusations, but character stands firm. It does not change based on public opinion. And in the end, it is character that determines your true legacy. When you are insulted, when you are misrepresented, when people disrespect you, your greatest response is not to argue, it is to continue being who you are. When someone lies about you, you do not need to chase after them, correcting their words. The truth will always outlive a lie. When someone disrespects you, you do not need to lower yourself to their level. Your dignity is worth more than their insults. Time will always separate what is real from what is false. A tree does not rush to prove that it is growing. It simply grows, and over time, the evidence becomes undeniable. Likewise, your actions, your consistency, your discipline, and your integrity will always reveal the truth. If you are faithful in what you do, if you are consistent in your work, if you remain steady in your purpose, those who once doubted you will have no choice but to acknowledge your growth. Look at history. Many great leaders were misunderstood. Many were insulted, ridiculed, rejected. But instead of spending their time trying to convince people of their worth, they remained focused on their purpose. And in the end, time proved them right. Jesus himself did not waste time arguing with those who accused him. He did not run after those who rejected him. He remained silent because he understood that the truth would be revealed in the right time. You must learn to do the same. When people speak against you, when they try to discredit you, when they show you disrespect, let your character speak for itself. Let time do the work that arguments can never accomplish. If you continue to walk in integrity, if you continue to pursue your purpose, no amount of negativity can stop what has been destined for you. Silence in the face of disrespect is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is the confidence of knowing that time will reveal what words cannot. It is the discipline of choosing to stay focused rather than becoming distracted by meaningless battles. It is the assurance that in the end, your life will prove what your words never could. So when they doubt you, keep building. When they mock you, keep growing. When they disrespect you, keep moving forward. Because in the end, time and character will always speak louder than words. Life will always present moments where you are tested, where people will disrespect you, misunderstand you, and challenge your character. But the way you respond determines whether you stay in control or allow their words to control you. True strength is not found in reaction, it is found in restraint. Wisdom is not proven through arguments, but through silence. And success is not achieved by proving yourself to others, but by remaining focused on your purpose. When you refuse to engage in unnecessary battles, when you stay quiet after disrespect, when you let time and character reveal the truth, you rise above the noise. You show that you are not moved by opinions, that you are not controlled by insults, and that you understand who you are regardless of what others say. So keep moving forward, keep growing, keep becoming everything you were meant to be, because in the end, your silence, your discipline, and your unwavering focus will speak louder than any words ever could. Good luck on your journey, stay strong, and thank you for listening.